The Independent have just published a news article titled, "Marvel's diversity problem continues as once bisexual character Hercules confirmed straight." I guess the balls didn't touch. Marvel's universe has often been criticized for portraying its heroes primarily as straight white men. When they do change a characters, it often causes controversy. For instance, when they decided to make Thor a women and Iceman gay, and they've done it again by making the once bisexual character Hercules a heterosexual. If the author of this news article is hoping to be represented in comics, he needs to be pushing for a hero who cannot write worth a shit. The phrasing of this is very strange to me. It's like it presumes you cannot make new characters. It's not that the Marvel Universe contains too many straight white men, it's that the heroes who are there are portrayed as straight white men. To be fair, I do understand how that approach makes sense when it comes to a character like Thor. Although I'm not a fan, I do understand that it's about the person being suitable rather than it being that person. But to look at existing characters and say that too many of them are white, straight and male is to say that having too high a proportion of white, straight maleness is a problem, not that you want more of something else. It's to say that what's important isn't getting more of the thing you want, it's getting less of the thing you don't want. And that's why there's such a focus on changing characters rather than making new ones. What I think really speaks to this is that while other complaints I've seen about character changes are simply complaints about, you're changing this character and I like them the way they are, this article is explicitly complaining about a character being straight, calling it a continuation of Marvel's diversity problem. What I find really strange, and I have to admit I don't follow these comics, I'm more into strange stuff like Dead World. What I find strange are the two examples provided of 1. Hercules being in an explicitly gay relationship in an alternative universe, and 2. An implied relationship in mainstream Marvel comics. Is the only thing that counts the character's current mainstream incarnation? Do those previous examples stop being Marvel? Do those comics stop being relatable to people who aren't straight because the mainstream incarnation is straight? And do they become relatable to straight people because the mainstream incarnation is straight? I ask this question because I thought that was the point. Why is it so important that Hercules not be straight? I just keep imagining this really cold, robotic approach to it. It's not that people want characters who are like them, it's that a certain proportion of all characters must be like them. Otherwise, it would not matter how many straight white men there are in comics. I'm going to try to lay out what I'm saying with a hypothetical. Imagine you are a racist. You value characters based on their race. You want characters of a certain race. You get 10,000 characters of that race made. You should be happy with that, right? You will never get through all their comics. But then you find out there are millions of the race you don't want. How does that affect you? If you want a certain kind of character, it doesn't matter how many other kinds there are. But that isn't actually what people want. That's why people don't just make it on their own, because that would solve that problem. They don't want characters that represent them. They want famous characters to have arbitrary bits of their identity so they can feel famous by proxy. The reason there need to be less straight white men isn't because they don't like straight white men. It's because they see Hero X is popular. I want parts of me to be seen as popular, or at least to be able to look at this and think, yeah, I'm popular because this character's popular. Therefore, you take Hero X who is popular, turn them into me, and then I am popular. And that is why you need to get rid of heroes who are portrayed as straight white males, because they see the straight white maleness as hogging that popular superhero's spotlight. While they're still there and so well loved, new characters won't get as much attention, and that's what they need. Attention, not representation. And you get the people advocating for them, making it look like something it isn't, making it look like specific people's creative work, as the headline says, is a problem. If there's an underserved audience that will buy this stuff because they can connect with it if you get these certain types of characters out, push for this as a way for artists to make some fucking cash. If you put the case forward well enough, it will happen. And it will be popular because it will be good and people will buy it. Now, I do not give two shits if people want to change characters around. Do whatever you want with your characters. If you think it is a good idea to turn your character into a black, disabled midget lesbian, go ahead and do it. But the same applies to, gasp, if you want to turn your character into a straight white male. Go with what you think works. Yeah, targeting a company you want to control with shame tactics may work, but it is just the shittiest, nastiest way to effect change. And I think whatever you get out of that method will always be cold and fake. But, as usual, that's just another one of my harmful opinions.